All right, this is going to be a great call because this week has been freaking bonkers. And literally, just when you think that you can't release anymore, something else comes up. And it's unbelievable. It's like the apps are just like, it's just overload. So this is a great call. We are going to be talking about running Healy as a business, an authentic business to us. We're talking about the Aquarian business age. We're talking about real vulnerable stuff that's been happening in our personal lives that has been impacted by, or Healy has impacted our lives, and going through the growth pains of stepping into your highest and greatest potential. It's not a pretty smooth ride all the time, but that's wonderful. Like, that's why we're here. So, Brett, you got to get on. So since we have like a lot of OGs here, I think we're just going to quickly go around and see if anybody has any really awesome shares. And the share can be something that's messy too. Like it doesn't just have to be from my flog on. What the heck is she talking about? It doesn't have to be like a clean, awesome experience, just like any experience that you've had with Healy, any kind of testimony or anything you want to share, really.
Or any crap that's been coming up for you.
Go, Soa, go.
Okay, it's pretty big though. Like really yucky.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if this sets anybody off because it's kind of really big.
Okay. Let's all take a deep breath.
And I'm sorry in advance if I set anybody off, but I feel like I gotta tell you what happened because it's also probably gonna save somebody's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started dating somebody. It was like amazing. Like, oh my God, somebody I could actually have real conversations with. They understood me, blah, 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 going well. And then it got a little demandy. And I was like,
you did or he did?
He did. And I was like, I don't know about this, not going to really allow that. And then there was just a topic of conversation, totally a caring topic of conversation, but the manner in which it was being delivered was rather aggressive. Does that make sense? Like worrying about my gut because my stomach is really messed up and he's had some health issues and he really wants me to be nutritious and all this stuff, right? But like demanding, like very demanding. And so I was like, hey, can you please stop talking about this? And it kept happening. It happened 3 times and I was like, oh, I'm going all raw. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to react. Hang up. Okay, I'm going to react. Like, why am I reacting? It's like, all right, cool. I think I'm ready. So I call him back and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry that I hung up on you, but like, you really just brought some stuff up for me. Well, blah, 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 blah. And I called him like a dick face or something. Like, I don't call people mean names. So like, I don't even know how to do that because it's like not even in my, like I use curse words all the time, but never directed at somebody. So it was like, he's like, hey, no need to call names. And I said, no. No need for you not to stop when I asked you to stop. And no need for you not to hear no when I said no. And that is the last time a man will ever not hear me say those words. And so on Monday at school, I heard these seniors talking and I had the kids playing Uno because they just don't know what to do with themselves on a Monday. And I walked over and I was like, I'm coming in here as somebody who's heard these conversations all year. And I can't go forward without saying something to you. You are putting yourself at risk of being hurt. And then one of the girls told me that she had already been hurt. And that she didn't have anybody to tell. And so I kind of helped her like navigate how to basically just tell this guy that was being stupid that she just didn't need to waste her time with how to like go away. And so she did it. And she came in on Wednesday. She's like, Miss So, I did it. I like told him that I wasn't going to be worth his, he's not worth my time. And like, whatever. And I was like, that was really awesome. And I was like, I'm really proud of you, like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, thank you. And you know how you like talked about whatever this is, like that put you in my path, because now I have somebody to look up to and a mentor, and I know you're going to be in my life and I want help.
That's beautiful.
So it was really, really weird to realize that the reason why I get so triggered or whatever reactive when people don't hear me say no or stop is because I was hurt a lot in many different capacities when I said those words, and it never stopped. And so I'm sorry that was incredibly deep or whatever, but I think this school, I mentioned it to one of the assistant principals, and apparently they might want me to speak in front of the school about it, because my kids are making artwork about it and they're in 9th grade. And it has to stop.
Yeah.
And she said, I realized that the last year I felt so horrible, and it wasn't me. It's what happened to me, and that's not who I am. So I just thank you guys for just rolling with my wave because it's been really crazy, but I've been using Healy pretty much every day. And I am right now, which is why I was going like, look, I never have it on the call. I have it on the call. Like,
What are you running?
Alaskan gem elixirs. So anyway, Thank you for the support and listening and being brave enough to hear that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's interesting that is what came up. And it seems like these calls are always like, we plan something and then they just kind of go where they need to go. And right now, the people who are on this call we're all pretty close and connected. If, someone who was brand new hopped on the call, we would probably not continue, these kinds of conversations. But since that's where we're going now, it's Kristen, are you cool with just flowing here?
Absolutely.
Okay, because Megan, actually, we had talked about a situation that she had that was a little similar, that has come up, and this seems to be, and one of the triggers, oh, hey, Dr. Toby. We were just talking about like the close-knit group that we have here, and we're getting kind of personal on this call. So hopefully you're cool with that for a bit. And then we're going to go into how to use this in a business. And this could be, this literally is a business. Helping women through trauma with Healy is a business. It's an incredible business that's so needed. So, okay, it's all tied together. So, Megan, if you want to just kind of briefly share your story, and then we can kind of talk about like the ideas that we have in order to help these situations.
Absolutely. To cut to the chase with it, you and I were doing our little latte visit, and what was so interesting about that was, we were talking about the fountain of youth, and what I was experiencing by using that was like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to break out a whole lot. And it made me kind of giggle initially, because I was like, well, to regenerate your skin and to rebalance things. Like, I'm using release a whole lot too. It's one of my favorite programs as well. And, stuff's going to come out how it needs to come out. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. It was like, yeah, it really is working. It's just going in.
Wait, is your dog humping the bed in the background? Because that's
No.
hysterical.
No, he's zhuzhing the blankets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just needed to address it. I needed to address it.
I know it's pretty aggressive.
It's amazing.
He'll
It's
dig.
amazing.
Yeah, he's funny. That's little Seabiscuit. But yeah, I call it zhuzhing the blankets. So he fluffs the pillows and then he'll go to sleep.
Okay, he's zhuzhing.
He's here to entertain and bring laughter into this tough topic.
Yes,
But
definitely.
for that, we were kind of, and I hope everything's okay. It says my internet connection is
Yeah.
unstable. But
No, you're good.
It kind of led us into talking about being a teenager. And you were guiding me into, spend some time, like what traumatic thing happened when you were a teen? And it's like, okay, well, let me give you a list. But, then going back to that particular time frame and, doing some Healy work, love work, all that good stuff to my teenage self. And what ended up happening overnight after that call, one of my fears that I've been working on is when I go out on social media, I get attacked. And sure enough, I woke up to a text message that was filthy and disgusting. And I didn't know the number. And I thought, oh, some random saw me on Instagram and just, okay, fine, delete, block, whatever. Went on to Instagram and I had a private message from one of my dear girlfriends from high school, older brother, who, when I was 15, he was probably 20. I was standing online at a house, at a house party waiting for the bathroom, and he kissed me. And it was one of those things where, no, I wasn't raped. No, I wasn't pinned down and forced. There was really nothing to it. Bathroom opened, I went in, and it was like, that weird awkwardness, like, oh, that's my girlfriend's older brother. He had a mustache. I didn't like it, but it wasn't. It wasn't all that bad. Yeah. But it was one of those things where then I realized he sent all these messages privately on Instagram that were all like, as if something did happen, very explicit, very pornographic. You want to see the pictures. And again, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Yet I could. It was almost like in that quantum awesomeness of Healy and my face breaking out and our conversation, in this community, what happens, I now know it was my 15-year-old self that was coming forward, ready for healing. And I didn't have
major chills.
Yeah. I didn't have a voice then. I didn't know, guys were just starting to think I was, pretty or getting attention. I didn't know how to handle that. What do you say yes to? What do you say no to? How do you say no? This is my dear friend's older brother. Like, it was awkward. And what I realized was I had this opportunity to go back to my 15-year-old self and just love her up and tell her it was okay to be confused and not know how to handle that, and that I was here now and she's safe now. And this, beautiful woman that I've become, that's definitely had many stories, like I'm sure most of us unfortunately do here have, of other atrocities that were a whole lot worse than that happen. But the magic, the awesomeness of Healy gave me that insight. I never would have gone back to that party. I never would have thought about it, because in the scale of things, it was like a no big deal. But what came up shows that even those smaller, if we want to call them that, things can have such an impact on our growth, on our ability to speak, in how we see ourselves, our value, our worth, being damaged, being garbage, whatever words you want to use. And I've got programs now to help that. I also know I'm taking action to heal on levels I'm not even aware of, while I'm spearheading areas I know I want to work on. And I was really happy to see that though I did have a reaction or a response, and I got a little shaky when I first read all that stuff, I was still able to do my daily little Instagram, reel on my animal encounters. Because at first I was like, oh, I can't do this. Oh my gosh, this is going to ruin my day. No, it's not. He doesn't have that power. I carry the power. I get to do what I want to do. And I did my video and I went to work, and no more shaking. And my face isn't even breaking out as much now, so it's like, what a purge, what a way to move through that. So we've got to share these things. We have to come forward with it. Big things like with the, SOA at school, that's enormous. You have made such a huge impact, as well as even my own little bubble of something. It still affects all of us. It affects our world. We're changing the world we live in by healing ourselves. So brava, woman. Definitely big hugs to you on that. And to me too.
Yeah.
That was some big stuff.
It's so amazing. And like, I never know where these calls are going to go, but I don't know any woman who hasn't experienced something.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't. I certainly have, and every woman in my family has, some pretty bad, worse than others, but it's just unbelievable. And for that to be coming up on the call that we're talking about business and the Aquarian business model is just pretty interesting. I think that is a huge part of this business in particular. There are men involved with Healy, but it's predominantly a women business. And I think, we're talking about like, when you grow this business in particular, things are going to come up that aren't, all wonderful. And like, those are the things that we have to face and move through in order to be our greatest and highest selves. And so like, if that's what's coming up, like not only is it wonderful that you're healing it, but also take note that this could potentially be something that you're called to speak on, or that you're called to build your business around. I'm just planting that seed. I don't know if that's the case. Definitely it is for SOA, for sure it is. But yes. And does anyone else have anything to share on that? Kristen, you got anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'm just feeling like this so ties into the Aquarian business age is all about the feminine. So healing, we are in the age of the feminine, and there is so much healing to be done on so many levels. And in order for us to really embody our true essence, our own power, and our own strength, we have to heal these wounds that we've all experienced. And our mothers, I guess, and our ancestors, they didn't talk about this stuff. And so I guess that's pretty in my head right now, because of my mother kind of going through a lot of her issues. She broke her hip and she's in rehab, and just the way that she handles things, she's kind of afraid to ask for help or to tell anyone what she needs, because she doesn't want to look weak. And it's just so interesting how we've been raised, in a sense, to, oh, be nice, be kind, don't rock the boat, don't speak up, just suck it up. That's how men are, and just all those things. So yeah, it's so great that we're all talking about this right now and claiming our wholeness through the messiness, through the pain, through the stuff that's happened to us. And what's happening as we're willing to look at it, more and more stuff is coming to the surface. And sometimes when we're not looking at it, but we're building into, we're speaking, we're using our voices, we're becoming leaders. However you look at it, it doesn't matter whether you're on a big stage of 1,000 people, or you're just, talking about Healy, you are kind of a leader in that way, and you're working on yourself. Your own shit's going to come up. And that's kind of what we've been experiencing. And the consciousness of the earth right now is not allowing us to hold on to that stuff anymore. And so it has to come to the surface. And And I think many of us we've all been really good at pushing it down, just, I don't want to feel that, or forgetting about it. Like you said, Megan, like, you wouldn't have ever thought that the pimples on your face until Ashley asked you a really good question. And she's so good at that, just to like, so what's that about? So I really honor both of you. And I just see you guys as so, it's just amazing what you're doing for these women, for these young women that need you. And we want our children to be empowered from the get-go, and so I'm just, I'm feeling all the love.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not even just the kids. So like when you started talking, like I immediately was like, oh my God, this is happening. Like it's heavy. It's like a lot. Like, we're not talking about like how to make, money, selling Healies. Like we're talking about some deep stuff here. And so if that happened for anyone else, like, oh my God, like this is a lot. Maybe internalize like, what's that healing that we need to do that we aren't comfortable hearing somebody else or experiencing somebody else's trauma coming out, because that's exactly what Kristen just said. We weren't like this isn't normal. We weren't raised to like have these conversations. We weren't raised to sit there and let somebody scream and cry in front of you and hold space. How do you hold space for that? Do we actually know? Were we ever taught? No. So what have women done in the past? We either weren't friends with that person anymore, we talked about that person behind their back, or we told them that they were crazy or something, like never was there okay, we love you. That's it. Like, we love you. Let us know if we can help,
Game changer.
And you're doing that for me because I'm learning how to hold space, and I've never really learned how to hold space myself. So thank you for that. We're doing a lot of big, deep work here, people, a lot of deep work. My own personal, one of the triggers that has come up for me this week has to do with the patriarchy thing, has to do with me not feeling like I'm worthy because of the income that I make, what I do to bring to the table. I don't have a normal Monday through Friday, 8 to, 5 o'clock job, and I'm not making a certain salary that's stable with benefits and all of that. And that has brought a lot of stuff up for me in my relationship. And so this is also something that I'm working through, is the value of the woman, the worth of the woman, the power of the woman to say no, to say I'm worthy of everything. It doesn't matter how much I bring in or what I do. And also I'm changing that. And that's what we're going to get into now, how we can change our current reality to another reality through the use of Healy and through the quantum field. So I do encourage everyone, and I'm saying this to myself because I think that I was the one who had this idea. If I'm not, I'm a jerk, but I think it was me. To put in your younger self into your Healy, the age that you had the trauma, find a picture of yourself and put that in your Healy. 15-year-old Megan, or, for me, 13-year-old Ashley, and which I cannot believe I haven't done. Obviously there's a block there that I'm like not ready to go there. So I'm doing that. I'm promising all of you guys by the time we come next week. Yeah, Lisa, we talked about that too. Put in, and you know what? It might be a lot of your ages, it could be if you're 38 like me, it could be 38 different pictures of yourself. But like, let's do that and see what happens, so we can share that with other people, because we are not the only women out there who need healing. We know that's true. Okay. So let's take a deep breath now. Changing the world. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share before we get into a little bit about?
I think Alicia's hand is up.
And
And
I
that
see your little
icon.
cute little hand.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, hands. I
Sweet
had
girl.
it's so weird that you guys are having this conversation because I had such a crazy thing happen this week. So I have a friend who's like, we're friends from high school, but I do her hair still, but we were never like friends. Do you know what I mean? So we were talking and I was like, hey, can I try this Healy on you? And she was like, yeah. And I kind of explained to her what it was. So I ran Aura, and then I ran the coaching. And so as I went through all of it, went through the Aura first, and then I went through the coaching, and she kept going, oh my gosh, like it was so on point. And then she opens up to me that she had been like abused by several men, and she had never talked about it because she was told it was too hard for her mom to hear. And so she was always told to suppress it. And it like opened this giant can. And we ran the scan, and the scan came up with scars. And we were just both kind of mind blown that all of this was coming out through that. It was so obvious that it was all being exposed. And she sort of went with it. And I actually had a conversation before I started. I said, sometimes it can get a little deep. And if it does, please just, say this is too much. And she was like, that's fine. But she went right with it. She was like, I've never talked about it before. It was insane. And then she, was messaging me the next day, she's like, we need to go deeper with this. And it was just a wild experience that every time I do it, I feel like it's uncovering more and more for people. That's helping them dig it out. And then to get scars come up, it was, I told her, I'm like, that's the internal scars trying to heal. And you need to do it. And it was interesting too, as we were doing the coaching and things were coming out, it was coming out parental. And a lot of it was like that negative, deep subconscious. It was very, very interesting. So it really gave her so much insight into how to move forward now. And to I'm getting so emotional because I'm so happy for her, but she knows what to do, she was like, I didn't know how to articulate that. A lot of the R was coming up throat chakra. And I said to her, because she is vocal, I'm like, but you've never felt you could honestly speak, could you? And she was like, and as she was saying it, I could see her taking these giant gulps. I was like, is it painful? And she's like, it is. It was so amazing that it was able to help her have that clarity to where to work now.
That's amazing.
It's truly amazing.
It was powerful.
And that this is what came up this week. Is there's just no coincidence here. We're purging here. That's clear, right?
When you
That's clear.
question whether to share or not, publicly here with you guys.
Yeah.
And when you guys were sharing, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. It's
so wild.
It's truly amazing. So as she was doing just an all Healy program scan, and in the skin program, when that comes up and it comes up scars, I always say these can be physical scars, they could be emotional scars. And you can tell right away which one it is. People will show you the scar, or they'll show you that, yeah, some stuff happened to me, something like that. How powerful. And going back to the value of being of our value. I mean, Alicia, if you had to put a dollar amount on what you, and Soa, if you had to put a dollar amount on what you just did for another human being, it would be $1,000 an hour, it's truly unbelievable, the work that we're doing. And we have been training for this our whole lives and lifetimes, but right now is the time. It's the opportunity. It's to mix our God-given mission with enjoying our life on earth the way that we deserve to, which is being fully abundant, to be able to create whenever we want to create, to create whatever we want to create, to spend time wherever we want to spend time and whoever we want to spend time with. Like, that is what we're doing here. This isn't about selling a device to somebody and getting like a couple $100 commission. This is about changing lives, and it's about changing our lives. So I'm passionate. I'm like, every time I get on these calls.
I told her today, I'm like, I think that, you know, as a coach, for me, doing that, first of all, she's going to coach with me now. And then secondly, that's like 6 sessions.
Yep.
So even my basic package, we just expedited through like $2,000. And it gives her the ability to know, we know exactly where to work. Because I've worked with people where they never disclose things like that. But the Healy like brings it out that I feel like they feel like it's like, I can't lie about this. So it's so valuable. I was telling Kristen, I'm going to probably build in the gold into my packages, and because I would rather them have it, because then they can run it on themselves regularly.
That's an amazing idea. And this is exactly the kind of conversation that I thought we were going to have, but it's so beautiful. Guys, I can't stress it enough. We are the pioneers of this device, of this wave of healing and healers. And so there isn't a manual on how to run a business. Yeah, you could get a Healy and you can do the Fast Start program, which is, I think it's like sell 3 Healies and 3 or 4 Healies, and you get a Healy for free, and you get, a certain amount of cash, and you can find that information in your back office. Like, there are easy things like that if that's the route that you want to go, and it is the standard of Healy. Like, that's the way that the corporate wants, us to build a business. But as far as creating a business that's authentic to us, I mean, we've got artists, we've got teachers, we've got healers, we've got personal trainers, we've got interior designers, like we've got literally chiropractors. I mean, we've got literally everyone on this call. So how you build it into your business is completely unique, which is going to set you apart, but there's also no manual. So that being said, I kind of want to talk about, just real quickly, the 3 ways that you can earn income with Healy. Is that cool with anyone? Does anyone have anything that they want to share? Okay. So one way is to use Healy as a service. You buy your Healy and you use it as a service. Like Alicia was just saying, she's using it for coaching. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to sell them a Healy, but you can earn money by using your Healy. I do that at the chiropractor's office. They pay me, I do a scan on them, a comprehensive analysis, which I think Anna and I are going to do a live tomorrow. If anybody wants to tune into that to like go in deeper on how we use it in our practice. But I do a comprehensive scan. And then once they book, because most of the time they book, I charge them $100 to hook them up to Healy and sit there. Now, because I'm working on my own value, I always feel the need to do more. So while they're sitting there and I'm in the room with them, I'm typically also doing Reiki on them. I'm for sure having a conversation with them, like a deep conversation, kind of like what Alicia was saying, like on what came up, what's going on. We talk about, past trauma and things going on in their life. So I'm not exactly hooking them up and walking away. That being said, I am working with Dr. Toby right now on opening the Microcurrent Lounge. And so it's going to be a place where people can walk in, get their program, and just relax. They can look at art. They can listen to the music. They can do some shopping, whatever they want to do, and leave. This isn't selling Healies. So if that's what you want to do, you can earn money with Healy right now by creating some kind of service for yourself. The second way is to sell Healies. And again, this is just somebody is interested in what you have, you send them the link, and then you can earn a commission on that. And what that commission is 30% of half of the device. So if the device is $1,500, you will get 30% of $750. And it can go up a little bit if you sell a lot of them, but that's kind of a standard for people to know. So service, we sell Healies. And then the third way is to build a tribe. And that's what we have done here. And I can tell you that we are Tracy. I can tell you that this has been the most rewarding experience of my life. Like every single day I have to, when I think about like, oh, I'm not making the money that I want to make yet, that being like, you know, a lot of money, that if I consider all of the relationships that I've made and the phone calls that I get to have on a regular basis and the people that I get to tap into and connect with, that's my dream. I've already manifested that. I'm already living that. So if that is something that you feel really drawn to, building your own tribe, there is a lot of abundance in that, not just financial money going into your bank account, but also just abundance of you feeling, you know, a part of a team and connecting with like-minded people like yourself. And that being said, Kristen and I kind of wanted to talk about some of like our own like personal stuff that's been coming up, because Kristen and I have been working together since day one, pretty much. I bought my Healy and I turned around and told her about it within the next like day or so. I'm going to read what Alicia said because I want to know what she said.
I always tell my team, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, build a tribe.
Love that.
That's beautiful.
Love that. And Alicia is going to do a network marketing coaching call for us soon, because she has been very successful with Arbonne. And there are things that we should know about doing this. I've never done this before, but I know that it's obviously what I'm meant to be doing, because here all of you are, and I feel so grateful. So where was I going with that? Building a tribe, working with other people. So a lot of network marketing companies, like in the past, this is different. Like this Healy is just different. The Aquarian business model is different. So in the past, you might have heard of, you know, a network marketing company where it's just like, get people in, recruit. I will tell you right now, if you just start openly recruiting people, you are going to have so many apps that you need to close, because you're doing it from an inauthentic place. You're doing it because you just want to make money. You're not actually working with the people that you were put on this earth to work with. You're not working with your tribe. Your tribe will find you. Like all of you guys, besides Kristen, Alicia, I mean, I met you at a meditation class one time, but like everyone else, I didn't know you. You all were manifested. I manifested you into my life somehow. It's been effortless. So when you are building a tribe, I really want you to start to, we did a really good call on this, on like finding your avatar, the people that you want to work with. I really want to make sure that everyone watches that, so you know who it is that you're attracting. Because if you don't, you're going to attract people. You might attract people that are not people that you want to work with. Kristen, do you have anything to say on that? I feel like I was rambling a bit.
No, I know that we said that in the beginning, that do we really want to work with this person? And there was a really, really challenging person that we both knew. and she was kind of trying to get in on both ends. And we just knew that if she was in part of the group, it wouldn't be a good scenario. So, and it turned out that she just didn't, it all turned out that she didn't keep going forward, but we didn't really encourage her. We kind of, we were just very straight with her on, she's not very tech savvy and, a bunch of different things. So we just kind of pointed out certain aspects. And I'm really glad that it didn't work out, because it wouldn't have been a good fit. But that being said, you can't just know what everything's gonna, whomever you sell a Healy to, how that's gonna play out. Like, that's just life. And so we learn as we go, and we learn how to set our boundaries, and we learn as we have the experience. And so when we have a certain experience, then we're like, wow, I learned a lot from that. I don't want to do that again, or I learned I need to do this instead. So that's my take on it.
And we also just wanted to be really authentic and let anyone that thinks that Kristen and I are just like have everything all together all the time, which I guess that's an assumption. I mean, I'm pretty honest with the fact that I can be a shit show sometimes, but Kristen and I constantly are working. She even said, like, yesterday, we're like a married couple, like, so to speak. Like, we're constantly, like, when we're doing this together, we've never worked like this together with other women or just people in general this closely, building something this important. And so things come up for us all the time, and we work through them. We just call each other up and say, hey, I have to talk about this, and I felt this way. And then we work through it. And if you can't do that with the people that you're building a business with, you're just not going to go as far. That I'm not saying that like every single person who buys a Healy from you have to be best friends with. I'm so not saying that. I am saying that in the beginning, when you're starting your business, you do want those people. In the future, as we grow, there's no stopping it. It's a freight train. So of course that there's going to be people coming into our tribe that, we might not go on a weekend trip with. But in the beginning, it's really important that you find people that you can work through, like what Kristen and I have been doing. And I'm so grateful. It's been the most rewarding experience of my life, because I've never been able to work with women in this way, because I can be aggressive with my delivery. I'm extremely passionate, and that can come off confrontational. Know that it's coming from a place of absolute love. And as Anna said, and I love it so much, like, I see people's big pictures. So if I come off aggressive to anyone, first of all, you have to like I'm not going to just like come at you unless I feel invited in some way to let you know what I see. But I'm looking at each one of you as if you're already your highest self, because that's what I see. So if I see what's blocking you and what's keeping you from what you were born to be, and I feel invited in to tell you that, like, I'm going to, and it can come off aggressive, but it's so coming from a place of love. And then I have, Kristen reminding me that that's something that I also need to be a little sensitive about. So we're all just in this massive growth. It's like growing at light speed. Like what Alicia just said she did for her client, the 6 to 12 sessions, that's what we're doing with ourselves in like a year. We're doing like 10 years worth of work in a year. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So just have grace with yourself. What's meant for you will not miss you. So the only thing that's blocking you is your thoughts. Really, that's the only thing blocking you. Does anyone have anything that they want to add on that?
Yeah, if your thoughts are blocking, you choose the coaching program. That's what I put that right in the coaching program.
How are you using the coaching program, like, for yourself? Are you doing it for yourself?
Yeah. If I have something that I feel is blocking or like I would need to get coached on, I just put it in the focus and go through the steps, and then I'm looking at it and it's always right there.
I need to do it more.
Yeah. Do it with smaller things first, like not big juicy things, but like smaller things that you can, the more I do it, the more it opens. So I like gotta give a big shout out to Anna, like such a rock star, and like helps me with it all the time. But it's
Who,
so,
Anna?
yeah.
Little genius, her.
Yeah. So like the more I do it, the more I'm learning, and just keep watching like little videos. But yeah, I just plug in what, but gotta chunk it down, whatever it is. Like I keep chunking that, like I want to grow my business. You have to chunk it down. The why isn't my business growing? What is the thing that's keeping it from growing? Chunk it down and then put it in the coaching.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I know a lot of people want to hear that, including myself.
Okay. Let me see.
Can we do a sample?
Run it? Run yours and check it
Okay.
out.
Can I share an example of this?
Yes.
Okay. So I have somebody that I have been talking with for literally like the past 6 months about Healy. They're very interested in it, and they think it's fascinating, but they just haven't come to the conclusion that they need it. But in many times I've assisted this individual. And one of the things that I found fascinating was I used the coaching program with her because finances was like a big piece of why she was feeling like she wasn't ready for Healy. But she specifically, I actually started it as like a beta group that I wanted to work with in building a program for my business that I could be able to help people through their blocks. And so specifically for her, it was, she needed to be making, it was like $8,000 a month. And so I put in like the intention of exactly what she wanted to make, how she wanted it to look for her and her business. And the number one thing that came up was acknowledging her talents. And I find it so fascinating because, you know, I put all these journal prompts together. I did release work around like emotion code release work around like what is blocking her from acknowledging her talents alone, and ran frequencies, was starting to build like guided meditations and all this other stuff. And didn't really like, things kind of like fell apart and just, you know, wasn't really headed in the direction. And we kind of just lost touch in building this beta scenario of working with her. And just today or the other day, she posted that she's holding a masterclass on basically what is all of the talents that she has built over the past couple of years to help people that she also has the background in performing arts and all this other stuff. And I thought it was so mind-blowing because she's doing the work that Healy put on a platter for her. And she doesn't even realize that she's doing it, which is amazing because I can see it. I can see it happening. And it was literally like the things that were showing up as the priority for her within the coaching program and the intention that she had. She is now working towards building that exactly the way that it was laid out. So it's just it's mind-blowing to me. I don't know if that helps as an example, but it was something that's so fresh. I was like, this is awesome. So hopefully at some point she realizes the bigger picture of like how she's moved through some of those blocks of like not even acknowledging what she already had within and what her experience, her life experience, and everything that's built her to the place that she is with her business already, and seeing the value and the worth that she already has, and being able to share that with others. So I thought,
what did you actually put in like as the focus when you were doing coaching? Do you know? Do you remember?
I easily generate $8,000 per month of income.
Okay, so we are, yeah, real specific. I like that.
You want to be
Yeah.
real specific because it can be really broad, and then it's too broad. Then it's all over the place.
Well,
Right.
right. So you can't just say like abundance comes easily to me. It has to be like, what do you really want? Like if $8,000 is your budget, or $2,500 a month is something that you have to hit in order to meet specific needs, then that's what you have to put in, because that there's specific things that those blocks are going to show up, and the coaching program is going to tell you exactly what it is, but you have to be specific for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Do you want to,
Anything? People want to be super broad, like someone I keep just asking people to let me help them with it. Somebody the other day said, I want to find love. And I was like, well, what does that mean? What is it that you want to, so we broke it down, and then what we came to is like, she's like, I'm afraid to love. So we had to use like that deep. It's not that I want to find love. It's like, keep chunking it down, if that makes sense. So whatever someone says, I ask, well, why? And why? And I keep asking that till I get to like the little nitty gritty of what they actually want. Because sometimes if it's too broad, we're not really getting to the heart of what we really, really need. You know what I mean? Like maybe someone is like, I want to grow my Healy business, right? I use this to coach my Arbonne team too. So I had a girl that she said to me, I want to grow my Arbonne business. And I was like, okay, but why aren't you? Like, if the want is there, I know she wants to, but why aren't you? And then when we got to the heart of it, it was that she was afraid to talk to people because she didn't want them to judge her and feel like she was being pushy. So she had limiting beliefs around that. So we kind of chunked it down. So we knew then we could get into that. So if you're thinking about it in your sense of your Healy business, if you're like, well, I want to grow it more, but it's stagnant. Or like, I just need to, maybe you need to manifest new people. Or so really, what is the meat and potatoes of it? Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I need to go do it myself.
I love it because it's so simple. Just ask why and why and why.
Why?
So it's so simple. I love that.
Well, it goes back to what Andy said a few weeks ago. Why? Go to your why.
We were going to go into at 9:00. Oh, sorry. Like for anybody who is ready to grow a business, we were going to talk about like our next moves. Is everyone okay with doing that?